Imagine this. A 71-year-old widow, alone in her quiet living room, picks up the phone with a smile because she's finally going to ask her only son, Max, when is the wedding? I already have my dress ready. She's excited. She's been saving, planning, dreaming of walking into that ceremony as the proud mother of the groom. On the other end of the line, her daughter-in-law Lena answers, and without even a breath of warning, with the sweetest, coldest, most poisonous smile you've ever heard in her voice, she says, "Oh, Renate, we already got married yesterday. We only invited special people." 5 seconds of silence. Then the phone starts shaking in Renate's hand because those words land like a bucket of ice water straight to the chest. Special people. She, the woman who for 3 entire years paid their rent every single month, bought their sofa, their bed, their plates, their fridge, their groceries, even the white wedding dress Lena wore in the photos Renate is about to see. She's suddenly not special. She is standing in the middle of her own living room, holding a pale pink mother of the groom dress that cost her $200, and every ounce of hope she had left a dress that will never be worn because the wedding already happened and she wasn't even told. In that single moment, something inside this gentle, selfless, always giving mother snaps. Not with screaming or tears, but with the coldest, clearest fury you can imagine. Because in the next 24 hours, she's going to discover the wedding photos on Instagram. See Lena's parents smiling between her own parents while Renate's seat is empty. Realize every dollar she sent Uivar for the honeymoon and Firuma for the rings and Wa for personal things paid for a day she was deliberately excluded from, and then exactly 7 days later when the rent is due, she is going to pick up that same phone and hear Lena's panicked voice begging for the monthly transfer like always. And this time, Renate is going to look the camera. Well, look at you. Right in the eye and say the sentence that will change everything. Didn't I always tell you? I only help special people who are special to me. What follows is one of the most powerful, painful, and ultimately triumphant revenge and awakening stories you will ever hear. A mother who financed an entire adult life for her son and daughter-in-law, only to be treated like a walking ATM, decides to take her money, her dignity, and her future back, even if it means going to war against the very people she loved most. Over the next 25 minutes, you're going to watch her cancel every payment change, every lock face, lawyers, social workers, and a courtroom full of lies, and finally stand in front of a judge while her own son tries to have her declared insane so he can keep the cash flowing. This is the true story of how Renate Richter stopped being the world's most generous mother and became the strongest, freest, happiest version of herself at 72 years old. If you've ever been used, taken for money, for time, for love, stay until the very last second, because the moment the judge reads the final verdict will give you chills and the biggest smile at the same time. Hit that play button, turn the volume up, and let's begin.
The phone call that broke a mother's heart, soft piano, single spotlight on an older woman holding a cordless phone. Renate's voice is warm, full of butterflies. Max, sweetheart, I was calling to ask, when is the wedding? I already bought the pale pink dress. I can't wait to stand next to you. A tiny laugh, then silence. Lena's voice cuts in, syrupy and sharp as glass. Oh, Renata, we actually got married yesterday. It was very intimate. We only invited special people. Special people, the music stops dead. Renata's smile freezes. Her hand starts trembling so hard the phone rattles against her ear. Special people. 3 years flash before her eyes. Every first of a month bank transfer of $500. Every grocery run when their fridge was empty, every piece of furniture she bought with her pension, every mum were a little short this month, all of it paid for by a woman who, in one sentence, has just been told she is not special. She looks across her living room at the sofa she gifted them, now sitting in her own house because they never invited her over anymore. She looks at the pink dress hanging in the hallway, still in its plastic cover, tags dangling like a broken promise. The call ends. Renate lowers the phone slowly, as if it suddenly weighs 1,000 pounds. She does not scream, she does not cry. She just whispers to the empty room, "Special people," and something behind her tired eyes clicks into place, something that has been asleep for far too long. The screen fades to black. Text appears 7 days from now. That same phone will ring again, and this time Renate will be ready. The Instagram photos and the first night of fury. That same evening, Renate opens Instagram for the first time in months. Her finger hovers, then taps Max's profile. The first photo stops her heart. Lena in a breathtaking white gown, Max in a tux, Lena's parents on one side, her siblings raising champagne on the other, smiling, laughing, toasting. Renate zooms in. There is no empty space where a mother should stand. There is no seat saved, no bouquet reserved, no mention, not even a text message the day before saying we decided to elope. Love you. Just the caption, "Best day ever with the most special people in our lives." Renate scrolls. Another photo, the exact dining table she bought them last Christmas. Another, the crystal flutes she gifted for their engagement. Another, Lena spinning in the dress Renate paid for, with the little extra she sent for "whatever you need. Darling, each swipe is a knife." She sits on the floor in the dark, phone glowing on her face, tears finally falling, but they are not sad tears. They are hot, furious, 3 as in them making tears. She opens her banking app and starts adding numbers for the first time ever. Rent, groceries, furniture, emergency cash, wedding expenses she didn't even know were wedding expenses. The total climbs past 10,000, 15, 20, 25. She closes the app, looks at the pink dress still hanging like a ghost, and says out loud to no one, $33,400. And I wasn't special enough for a +1. She goes to bed fully dressed. She does not sleep. She plans I only help special people. The rent call exactly 7 days later, the phone rings. Caller ID Lena. Renate lets it ring 4 times, then answers with the calmest voice she has ever used. Lena, panicking. Renate, thank God. The rent is 2 days late. The landlord is threatening eviction. You forgot the transfer. Renate waits. She can hear Lena's breath shaking. Renate finally speaks, slow and crystal clear. Lena, didn't I always tell you I only help special people? Dead silence. Then stuttering, Renate, you've always been special to us. You're like a second mom, Renate cuts in, still gentle, still deadly. Second mums don't get invited to the wedding they paid for. Lena, second mums don't get lied to for 3 years. Second, mums don't get called only when the rent is due. Lena tries tears, guilt trips, promises of a make-up dinner. Renata listens without interrupting. When Lena finishes, Renata says just 10 words. Find another special person to pay your rent from now on. She hangs up. For the first time in decades, she does not rush to the bank. She makes herself a cup of coffee, sits at the kitchen table where she used to count bills for them, and smiles, small, sharp, and brand new. The automatic transfer that has left her account like clockwork for 36 months does not go through. Somewhere across town, 2 grown adults are learning what happens when the ATM finally says insufficient funds and insufficient love. Renata finishes her coffee, opens her laptop, and books an appointment at the bank for the next morning. The war has officially started, and this time she is not paying for it. The bank and the first taste of freedom. Next morning, Renata walks into the bank wearing the same coat she wore when she buried her husband 20 years ago, looking 10 years younger. Mr. Klein, the branch manager who has watched her transfer money month after month, sees her coming and already knows. Mrs. Richter,
Are you sure?
he asks softly. Renata nods. Cancel every single automatic payment to Max and Lena Richter and Lena Schuster. Today, Mr. Klein's eyes fill with tears. He quickly blinks away. I've watched your balance go down and down while theirs went up. I'm proud of you. While he processes the cancellations, Renata's phone explodes. 23 missed calls, voicemails, begging, threatening, crying. She turns it off. Walking out of the bank, she feels weightless, as if the money was never the heaviest thing she was carrying. She treats herself to breakfast in a cafe for the first time in years. No guilt, no hurry, no I have to run because they need something at the store. She sits by the window, watches people pass, and realizes she has not thought about Max or Lena for a full 30 minutes. That night, she takes the pale pink dress out of the closet, folds it carefully, and drops it in the donation bin outside the church. As the fabric leaves her hands, so does the last shred of hope that love can be purchased. She whispers to the dress, to the old Renata, to the empty street, goodbye. Then she goes home, opens a bottle of wine she has been saving for the wedding toast, pours herself a glass, raises it to the silence, and says, to the most special person in my life from now on, me. She drinks, she smiles, and she sleeps 12 hours straight. They break in and bring a lawyer. 1 week later, Renata returns from a walk to find 3 cars in her driveway and movement inside her own house. Her stomach drops, but she breathes deep and opens the door. Max sits on her sofa, head in hands. Lena paces like a trapped cat. A stranger in a grey suit rifles through her personal papers on the dining table. Renata's voice is steel. What is happening in my house? The stranger smiles like a shark. Mrs. Richter, I'm Dr. Fisher, family law attorney. Your children are concerned about your sudden strange behavior and have asked me to assess the situation. Translation. They want power of attorney over her money. Lena rushes forward with fake tears. Renata, we're so worried. You've changed. You're confused. Renata cuts her off. The only thing I am confused about is how I let two adults treat me like a credit card for 3 years. The lawyer places a folder on the table. Just sign here and we'll take care of everything for you. Renata picks up the folder, walks to the kitchen, and drops it straight into the trash. Out. All 3 of you. Now, Max finally speaks, angry and entitled. Mum. We have bills, the rent, the car you co-signed. Renata points to the door. Those are your bills. Solve them with your salary. Lena actually hisses. Everything you have will be ours one day anyway. Renata meets her eyes. Then wait until I'm dead. Until then, get out of my house. They leave threatening lawsuits. Renata closes the door, leans against it, and for the first time realizes she is shaking, not from fear, from power. She picks up the phone and makes one call to a locksmith.